the 119 machine, you can see Team Ernie the Badger.
We felt he let himself down. He let me down. He just let a lot of people down. We were disappointed. It was a disgrace.
Do you come here often?
Every day.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it. Right, let's do it.
And this weighs 30 kilos. That's a bit different from the Honda one. So. There we are.
Back of it. Right. Corny bastards. Coming.
Tap it. There we are.
Coming. In.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh, with a little help from my glamorous assistant, the engine is now in. I was going to have to start connecting everything up and see if it works, but still waiting for fuel tank and bodywork, etc. So I'll get as far as I can until I get those picked up. Make it out. Just plugged everything in, switched it on. Don't have a tank on, don't have a radiator on, but I'm happy to hear that. Getting on now, we've got the exhaust on. I managed to find an exhaust gasket because I'd forgotten to buy one, but I found that one from the Honda had fit on. So it's still not start, obviously, but it makes a better noise now. And when I've got the exhaust on, that means I can start making the belly pan. So I put the existing one on just to see where it was, and then I'm just bodging up some fiberglass. I just taped some cardboard onto it so it'll clear the exhaust, and then lined that with some non-stick baking paper, and then I've just poured some resin in, and this is just one layer of glass. Now take this off and I can trim it and see if I can mould something on in stage 2. Well, that's gone off really quickly. I can feel the heat coming off it, and it's gone off so quickly that the brush has gone solid. I didn't wash it quick enough with acetone, so that's my brush knackered, I think. So here's the belly pan. Just sprayed a bit of black on it. Not the prettiest, but it should do what it needs to do and catch the oil and not cost me anything. So I'm not had to buy any fairing. I give it a bit of a sand down and spray with rattle can black. Don't look too bad. Bit of progress tonight, apart from burning myself with a soldering iron, and I went to fish the soldering iron cover out of the airbox with a bit of wire. I've got lights. Oh, lights when I switch it on. And rain light. Well, I've got all my bodywork back from Paul. So I sprayed all of these up. Not a perfect job, but it'll do for a race bike. And he's bodged the seat unit back together that was completely broken, and put a bit on the back where the pillion seat was. And I've also got a replacement injector and the intake manifold from Josh Hill. So I've got everything now that should be able to get it running. I'll just put these back together, but got all of these fixings. I've got to work out what goes where on the front mudguard and the fuel tank. But I should have it running within 24 hours. Of September 25, and it's running. But it's a long story. So last night I put it back together with the injector that I got my friend to send me, and I had trouble starting it. Ended up the battery went flat. It seemed like it wasn't getting fuel. It had spark, and I had removed the air filter, or rather I had removed that from it and put it back in, and the snorkel, because 44 Teeth said that will allow more airflow, give it a bit more power. Then I found that I could actually get it to start and run if I stuffed my hand in the air intake, which makes it more rich. So I then started to worry about the injector that I'd bought, and maybe it wasn't properly clear. So I went on to Fowler's and thought, how much is it going to be to actually buy a new injector? Because as you know, I broke the one that was in it while I was trying to get the exhaust out. And then I noticed that the injector actually comes in two parts. That part there is about 70 quid from Fowler's plus postage. But the bit that I actually broke was this plastic part that it goes on there like that. So I had another one of those with the manifold that my friend had sent me. And I took I left it all connected up, but took the injector out and looked at what was spraying out of it. And I don't know, I'm not much experienced with injectors, but it didn't look like there was enough fuel coming out of it to me. Anyway, so now I've got another one of these, and this part is actually only 10 quid from Fowler's if I wanted to replace that. But I had another one this morning. I've swapped it back over, put the original injector back in, because that is literally the only thing on the engine that I've changed, and it starts up fine. Mega shout out. So for now, I put the snorkel back in, I've got a new air filter in it, and I'm not going to mess about with that until we can get it on a dyno and actually check air fuel ratio, power, etc. So let's just get it running and riding for now. Now I have a running bike, it's just the finishing touches now, so bodywork, controls and crash protection. So I'm just going to talk through what the plans for it go from here are. So obviously I got the bodywork back from Paul, who I'm building it for. So while I've been working on the bike, he's been doing the painting and bodywork. So the tail units, we're going for as cheap as possibly can, and we're reusing the original seat. So he's made this up. I've got some photographs of the process he's gone through, but it's going to need some work. Because he's had to do this without access to the frame, he wasn't sure how well it's going to fit. So I think I'm going to have to trim some bits off, obviously, to get these to mesh together. But what he'd done to repair the piece, because it was snapped here and here, and obviously that would have been the pillion seat, and we just wanted to make a cover where the pillion seat was. On the next build, I've discovered AliExpress, and I can get a seat unit cover that, instead of making this out of fiberglass, we can just get one that fits on. I'll put a picture of it, and that's what I'm going to do with the next one. It's going to be easier as a seat hump. So the bodywork is made of ABS plastic, and fiberglass doesn't readily adhere that well to ABS. So we discovered that what you can do, if you rough up the surface on the inside, dissolve the surface with methyl ethyl ketone, or MEK, and then bond the fiberglass mat into it and let it dry. That gives you a good base for adhering the fiberglass onto it, and that's what he's done. And then he's put filler on it. We've decided to make it in two pieces, so he's attached all of this in one, and then I've got to somehow get this to fit together with some clips. It's going to be a bit of a faff, but we'll make it work. But it ain't going to be pretty, but it's literally like free, just the cost of the fiberglass. What else have we got to do? I've got to find and clean up all of the fixings for the mudguard. That's come out okay. Down here, so the foot pegs. So the standard, we want to reuse the standard ones, but these are going to be too low for track riding. They will deck out. So we've been working with my friends Linton and Mecklin Precision Engineering to manufacture some riser plates. I'd done a drawing, I'll show you in a minute, that I was to raise them up and back. I was going to have them, I was going to cut them out of aluminium myself, and then thought this is going to take forever. I was going to get them laser cut, and then we eventually managed to get Mecklem, Martin Atherton and Mecklem to agree to make some riser plates, and he's made some and they're beautiful, but they're still work in progress, haven't got them yet. As for gear change, 2 options. We want to use race shift, so to do that we can just put a pit bike gear lever directly onto the spline, and if we get the spacing right from where the foot peg is, you can just use that. I'd look at having it a fold-in one as well for crash protection. Or when I move this, I'll need a different length linkage rod. The rod needs to be, the gear change needs to be in that direction, pointing upwards, in order for it to work as race shift. Normally it would be down here. And to do that, well, I'll need a longer rod. I'm going to make a longer rod. I've got some 6mm rod and taps, and left and right threaded, left and right handed M6 dies to put threads on those and make a longer rod. I've also got a couple of lengths of the pit bike style straight on the shaft, but I'll work that out when we get there. This cover isn't strictly necessary, but I like to have a sprocket cover. But I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to trim around here so that I can easily take it on and off, and obviously also clear the gear change mechanism when we have that situated. Whilst on AliExpress, I've noticed that we can get R&G engine cover crash protection. Obviously it's not genuine R&G, but it's better than nothing, and I might use those instead of bolting bits of nylon to the outside on the engine mounting bolts. Crash protection at the front. Fab Racing that I race with do insist on having the ends of the spindles and the forks protected. I have tried on other bikes threading and tapping the end there, but Linton had a crash last weekend that sheared off the crash mushroom that he'd threaded and tapped into there. So I also found these are actually on Temu, but they're similar on AliExpress. They just fit behind and either end, just thin aluminium things. It keeps the scrutineers happy. You rarely touch them down in a crash anyway, but they were about, I think, £4 for a set of 4. So I'm going to leave those on. And for the hands, we need to have a lever guard. And I've got these, because I don't have a fairing, these are like pit bike style things. These were about £25 on eBay. I've got another set for the other bike for about £16 from AliExpress. So I'm going to copy what Linton's done with his. I'm just going to cut them here. They don't have to attach right at the bar. And then I'll bolt them on there with this or something else on the outside of it. So it'll be something like that. So I've got the lever protection.